Attention passengers, we've now reached our destination. We hope you enjoyed the flight and have a nice day.
We decided to come to Monterrey, Mexico for New Year's Eve because we wanted to try something different, a new place, and also because Monterrey from Guadalajara is a very short flight. It's like an hour and some change. So how would you describe Monterrey for people who are interested in visiting?
Monterrey is extremely beautiful. I love the mountains that surround Monterrey. It's funny, we were just in Dallas not too long ago, and it kind of reminds me of Dallas a little bit, just like the infrastructure, the buildings, the city layout. Obviously, aside from the mountains and Spanish speaking, it's completely different in that aspect. But one thing that I wasn't looking for, but that was noticeable right away, was how clean the city is. Like, pretty much every corner we've turned, the streets have been clean, sidewalks have been clean.
Yeah, one of the wealthiest cities in Mexico exists in the state of Nuevo Leon. And so it's really close to where we are right now. And so we spent time in Monterrey proper, San Pedro Garcia, Santiago, but I believe the name of the city that's where all the wealthiest folks are is Del Valle. So that's a pretty cool thing to experience, and you can kind of see that reflected throughout this area. The weather here has been so interesting. Yeah. So we kind of talked about how, had we known about this place earlier, this would be the type of place we definitely could have spent some time in. Guys, we're out here in the streets of Monterrey.
Yo, so if we decide to move to Mexico for the rest of our lives, I think I would want to move to Monterrey.
Hey, why you say that? Tell the people.
It feels at home. It feels so cool, even though it's a little expensive. Oh, we can go. I think a part of it is like having some top golf to do.
Para el caballero?
Right.
Yeah.
Feels fun, but
lots of mountains to hike.
Yeah. Of all the places we've been, it feels the most familiar and comfortable to.
Even in comparison to Mexico City, there's so many things to do there too.
Yeah, but Mexico still didn't feel like home to me. Mexico City, yeah.
Okay. Well, look, as long as we in the country, that works to me, my friend. Though we did learn that the weather can get really hot. During our time here, we've experienced some extremes. So a 90-degree day followed by a 60-degree day.
Yeah, and right now it's 48 degrees outside, so it's very up and down with the weather. That's hence the hoodie that I have on right now.
And I'll definitely be wearing one when we get outside. Right. So, but we're from Michigan, for those of you who don't know, so it's still fine to us. It's definitely not cold by any stretch of the imagination, but we're wearing shorts and sweaters all in the same week, so that's been pretty interesting.
So we visited a cave called Grutas, and it was really nice. Unfortunately, the cable car that gets you up and down the mountainside was closed, but it was pretty fun hiking it. And going inside the cave was a lot of fun, just seeing how this life inside a cave form that was once undiscovered and nobody ever knew about it. And also to see how parts of the cave were still growing and connecting. This thing will probably be growing for the rest of its existence. And so it was nice. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, so basically there's natural formations, and they point out what the formations look like. So one might look like a hand, or another looks like a gorilla, things like that. The experience was good. I think if you being able to see just the sheer size of the cave was really impressive to me, but the experience is very touristy, I would say. There's literal signs that's months, where they're pointing out the hand, and there's signs in every point where there's something that you can look at and observe, which is probably great if you were to do it maybe independently.
Right, yeah. And then they had like different, I don't want to say strobe lights, but like stage lights that were kind of like setting the mood. So it's like one moment it would be aqua blue, and the next minute it would be aqua green. And it's
like
just
the Inferno place that like red LED lights.
Yeah, exactly. So that kind of like, I don't know, like she said, made it touristy, but it was still a cool experience to see something like that.
So we went to La Presa de Boca, and we went to see like the water. They had horses out there. We don't really involve ourselves with tourism that involves animals, but they were beautiful to look at, and walk the streets of Santiago Central. It is a pueblo mágico, perhaps, in my opinion. I love being able to see the water, but I'm still a fan of Tlaquepaque, tequila, just a little bit more hustle and bustle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was definitely nice. It was a lot of people, the energy in the city, like you could feel like everybody excited to be around. It was post-holiday, right? It's small in comparison to a lot of the other Pueblo Mágicos that we've been to, because it was almost just like the square was it, and then you walk out on the side streets and there wasn't much going on. But that could be a lot of businesses were closed.
Given the holiday.
Holiday, yeah. But, it was still a good time. There was a portion where the view was extremely nice from up top. It was almost like an amphitheater, if you will. They had like benches outside where you could sit down and overlook the city and see the water.
On our first day, we spent a lot of time on the Riverwalk in Monterrey, and I just love it. It was just so nice and relaxing and beautiful. And then we also entered the Funidor Park, and it was so much fun, and it was like themed for Christmas and everything, so that was pretty cool. And it was cute. They had all these different like animal shapes and just things for like great picture opportunities and snacks and things like that. And we did not get an opportunity to ride the boat, which I highly recommend for people who are coming to visit. However, we didn't want to stand in line
for 2 hours
because we lazy and we was hungry, so we didn't do that.
Yeah, no, that day was a lot of fun. Now that I think about it, though, I think that might be the day. So my stomach has been hurting like this entire week. I ate 5 churros that one day, and I didn't have that revelation until just now. That's probably why my stomach was hurting. The churros were fire. Right.
The first thing that we did in the city was we wanted to see the city from a lookout. So we went to a mirador. Is that okay for you?
Mirador.
And it was lovely. It really was. It was really nice. So I highly recommend that. I think it's just a nice way to get grounded and like see the mountains and become really excited about where you are.
Another fun activity we did was visit a smash room. This was a lot of fun, and I know this is something that many people do for different reasons. For us, we just had a good time, able to relieve some 2021 stress, get rid of my stress from being sick from churros all week. So it was a lot of fun. Although the smash room was a little bit on the small side, we still made the most of it and had a really great time doing it.
Other important things that you may be wondering about would be costs. Cost-wise, I will say that Monterrey is a little bit on the pricier side in my humble opinion. Of course, like not in comparison to the USA, but in comparison to many other places within Mexico. For example, most of our meals have been around like 500 pesos, which is like 3 times or more than what we typically pay for the same amount of food. Again, because we came here through New Year's Eve time frame, it's kind of, you would have to understand how much it costs during the regular time. I don't know if prices were inflated, but we actually elected to be in a hotel because the prices on Airbnb were very comparable. So we were like, hey, let's get some room service and be in a beautiful space. The nightly price was less than $150 a night, which might not sound crazy coming from the US, but remember, in comparison to other Mexican stays, that is a little bit pricey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely on the pricier side, but
it's totally worth it. Yeah. Like no questions asked. Totally worth it.
Definitely worth it. Monterrey is beautiful. Like I said, I wish we knew about it, but if you can get to Monterrey, get to Monterrey. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.